Welcome everybody. My name is Nirmal Ganguly. I am one of the devotees of the Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of Philippines, Manila. We are so lucky to have Swami Nityadipanandaji Maharaj, Assistant Secretary, Ramakrishna Mission, who will speak to us on seeing God in everything as per Isha Upanishad. So he has agreed to spend his time in spite of very busy schedule. We are so grateful and thankful to him, and we are thankful to each of the participants who are able to spend their Sunday afternoon with us. And for your information, we would like to inform you that Tuesday at 6:00 p.m. Philippine, Hong Kong, and Singapore time, we will be celebrating the Tithi Puja, that is the birthday of Swamiji, Swami Vivekananda. And on that occasion, Swami Karunakarandaji Maharaj, one of the trainers in the Professionals Training Center, Belur, will be speaking on Swamiji will speak on Vivekananda for a sane human society. Please try to join at 6:00 p.m. Philippine time, that is 3:30 p.m. India time tomorrow also. If Miss Jana is around, Miss Jana, please try to introduce the topic to our Filipino audience. Miss Jana, are you there? Okay, I will now request our minister in charge and our spiritual guide, Swami Udaranandaji Maharaj to kindly speak a few words, and then Swami Nityadipanandaji Maharaj will start his lecture. Udaranandaji Maharaj.
Thank you very much, Nirmal Das. I, on the behalf of Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of the Philippines, welcome you all to this talk, which we are continuing for such a long time. And I hope people are drawing a lot of benefits, and if they will continue to draw benefit from these talks, because we are preserving them and uploading them in our website. So those of you who cannot join or who could not join, please tell others also, share this information so that they can also avail this information, this recording, hear this. If they cannot attend live, they can hear the recording. We are very, very grateful to Swami Nityadipanandaji for kindly accepting our request and agreeing to talk. So without much ado, I will request Maharaj to take over the mic. Thank you very much once again, Maharaj, for kindly accepting our request to talk. Thank you, Maharaj. The mic is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamivavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayoh Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Namashri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukhaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharini.
Maharaj, one request, if you can kindly, your entire face is not coming. If you can sit in a posture where little bit more, can it be? Now it is okay, Maharaj. Absolutely, this is absolutely fine. Very good, Maharaj.
Okay. The weird Udaranandaji Maharaj, Mr. Nirmal Ganguly, and other devotees of Ramakrishna Vedanta Society, Manila, Philippines. A couple of weeks back, Udaranandaji Maharaj gave me a call. I thought it was a very casual call, which he normally does. But suddenly he dropped a bombshell, persuading to speak. to the devotees of Philippines Vedanta Society. He's a good friend of mine, so I could not say no to him. I heartily thank him for giving this opportunity to speak to the devotees of the Philippines Ramakrishna Vedanta Society who are living in Hong Kong, Singapore, and other places also. It is good to see that the modern technology is bringing people from far and wide come closer, and also the pandemic has served a blessing in disguise by giving this opportunity to discover innovative ways to come in contact with people who otherwise would have remained estranged. For quite some time I was thinking, what should I speak to the devotees? It came to my mind that Swamiji's birthday is approaching. It's just a few days away. 25th is Swamiji's birthday. So I thought we should discuss something which is very dear to his heart. Swamiji would say, Swami Vivekananda, we used to call him as Swamiji. Swami Vivekananda, he would say, I never quoted anything but the Upanishads. He would say that the Upanishads contain a great mine of strength, enough to invigorate the entire world. Such is the power of the Upanishad that a person, if he thinks that he is weak, he is afraid of the people around him, the world around him, if he consciously thinks that I am one with the infinite, what is there in me is the same entity which is behind the entire universe, just like the ocean and the wave. The same water is in the ocean and it is manifest as small waves. Wave may appear to be small, but the same water is present in the water in the ocean as well as in the wave. So, if one who constantly thinks about himself as a part of the infinite, then he becomes a changed personality. His personality so totally undergoes a change. There is an incident in the life of Swami Vivekananda. He had just returned from the West and he was staying at Calcutta. One of his old acquaintances, he was very seriously ill, bedridden, not able to get up from the bed also. He expressed his very deep, earnest request. He had an earnest desire to meet Swamiji. And he was also regretting that he was not able to go and meet him. Swamiji had come back from US and such a well-known monk now throughout the world, and he wanted to meet him, and this he could not do because of his ill health. He was very much sad. Then he sent a message to Swami Vivekananda saying that I would like to meet you, but such is my condition that I am not able to come, get up even from bed. Then how can I come and meet you now? So Swamiji, he himself agreed to come and see his friend, old friend.
Maharaji, can you kindly speak a bit louder for the purpose of recording? Yes.
Okay. If this is all right.
Yes.
This much. Okay.
Perfect. Photo also,
So,
everything.
Swamiji,
Okay.
Swami Vivekananda then decided that he will himself come and meet his old friend. And as he entered the house of his friend, he was uttering a smatra from the Upanishad. As soon as he uttered the mantra, he didn't even give the meaning, he didn't even explain the meaning of the mantra. He simply uttered with great power. Swamiji himself was a very powerful person. So he uttered with great power that the friend of his who was lying down, he simply got up and said, Swamiji, I feel stronger than ever. So such is the power of the Upanishads. Even if one does not know the meaning, with great reverence, with great shraddha, what do you call it, with great faith, one repeats the mantra of the Upanishads, then one will be benefited. So one should. The main idea behind the Upanishads is that we are one with the infinite. Our infinite, if it is the whole, the reality behind this universe is the whole, and we are all parts of that infinite entity. So, all sincere aspirants, spiritual aspirants, draw great inspiration from this Upanishad. The 18th century German philosopher Schopenhauer, he said, in the world, there is no study as beneficial and elevating as the Upanishads. It has been the solace of my life, to be the solace of my death. Swami Vivekananda felt that there was need to spread the message of strength of the Upanishads to rouse the world from a long and deep slumber. That was the one mission of his life. Today, we shall discuss about the Isha Upanishad. Swami Vivekananda himself gave a talk on this subject, on this Upanishad, the topic God and Everything. This he gave at London sometime in 1896. Isha Upanishad belongs to Yajurveda. We all know Vedas, there are 4 Vedas: Yajur, Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva Veda. And each Upanishad, the principal Upanishad, there are 10 principal Upanishads on which Shankaracharya wrote his commentary on. So, amongst the 10, each one of these Upanishads, of course, now apart from these 10 Upanishads also, other Upanishads also belong to one of these Vedas only. The Kathopanishad, like the Isha Upanishad, belongs to the Yajurveda. Kena Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, these two belong to the Samaveda. Mundaka, Prashna Upanishad, and the Mandukya Upanishad, they all belong to the Atharva Veda, and to the Aitreya, and the Aitreya Upanishad belongs to the Rig Veda. There is yet another Upanishad which belongs to this Yajurveda, which is called as, which is the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, as its name suggests. It's one of the biggest Upanishads. Whereas Isha Upanishad is a very small one. It contains only 18 mantras. Each one of these mantras is very pithy and carrying very powerful message. The central idea of this Isha Upanishad is conveyed in the first 2 mantras. First 2 mantras are very important mantras. They convey the central idea of the entire Upanishad, and the rest of the 16 mantras, they are only elaboration or explanation of these 2 mantras. Today, we shall discuss these 2 mantras in detail. Swamiji also said that strength is what we derive from the Upanishad. The Upanishad is full of strength, right? Courage and strength, fearlessness and strength. These are the 2 important messages which the Upanishad conveys. Life, as we know, is a constant struggle against forces which try to suppress the growth of an individual under different circumstances. This is what Swamiji defined as life as. It's a constant struggle against the forces which try to suppress us in different circumstances. And in a constant struggle, we sometimes meet with success and sometimes with failures. And when we meet failures, in spite of our best efforts, we're terribly pained. We also know that life itself is full of evils, like disease, old age, death. These are all inevitable. For life and death, they are like obverse and reverse, the same coin. We take up one life, then death is inevitable. And after death, Jatasya hi, Gita also beautifully puts this. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janmam tasya cha. So when we take up life, death is very certain. That is the only certainty in life. So many things may or may not happen, but this one phenomenon will take place in all our lives. And at the same time, death means it's followed by another birth. So, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu, dhruvam janmam tasya cha. Tasmad parihari arthe, natmam shochitum arhasi. So when Arjuna was reluctant to fight, when he withdrew from the battle, the Kurukshetra, Sri Krishna rouses him up, saying that, why do you fear? There is no, even if you think that you're going to die, definitely there's a birth after this. And you cannot run away from death anyway. There's life, when you're living, you're going to die also sometime. So life is full of evils that is known to us. And all our conscious and unconscious efforts are to overcome these sufferings and evil in life. But we should find that evils cannot be totally eradicated. Most of the time it gets aggravated also. All the efforts we put in, sometimes it aggravates too. And most of us take these evils to be inevitable facts in life and give up our struggle against trying to overcome it. We just are driven by the fate most of the time. Most of us, it's like that. But some who try to inquire the mystery behind this life, the evils in life, turn towards religion. Religion, what does it do? It proposes a God as a solution to end of all evils. It says this life in the world of senses, material life, is finite, it's unreal, and it's only a small portion. In the Purushottam also, you get it. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani, Kripadasya Bhutam. This world, Pada, is only 1/4. Padosya Asya Bhutani. This world is only, this world of all beings, is only 1/4 of it. 3/4 is in the Amritam Divi, in the eternal heaven, you can call it, in the other words. So it's only a small portion. This is what the religion proposes. Whereas life beyond senses, it says, is eternal, a reality, and infinite, and there is no evil in such life. So there is no old age, death, etc. in that eternal life. And this eternal being, they call it, it's what is called as God, or whatever being you give it, Brahman for the Hindus, God, Jesus, God, or Allah, whatever name you call it, the eternal being. So you identify yourself with the eternal being, and then what we know equals. This is what the religion proposes. So at the first instance, when we hear this, we may draw a conclusion that life is full of evil anyway. So when we get beyond this life, we can be happy. So put an end to this life. In order to put an end to all evils, put an end to the life. It's a suicidal burden. It's like somebody sees a mosquito sitting in somebody's head, in the neighbor's head. So in order to kill the mosquito, he gives such a blow. The head is, I mean, it's such a blow that the mad person, man itself is dead. So is it such a solution that the religion suggests? Religion cannot suggest such a diabolical solution. That's such a crude solution, which is religion, which is the source of all. This is the source of all solace. The human beings cannot suggest such a solution to the human evils. Or one may think that if worldly life is unreal and impermanent, so one should give up, abandon everything, family, friends, relatives, right? All his possessions. Simply run away from this world. Or drive away all his relatives, wife, children, etc. So I want God only, I don't want all the people. Such a cruel solution cannot also come from religion. Because for an ordinary man, if you take away the things of this world, saying that it is all unreal, what do you supplement him to fill in the void? It should be something where he can lay upon his belief or faith and proceed. He does not see God as a perceptible reality. He has heard about it from the scriptures, he has heard about it from believers, talks, teachers. But it's not a tangible thing. He looks for something tangible. But God is not something which is tangible, like the things of this world, the persons around him, the life presented. They are tangible things which he can see, which he sees as the reality. And if you say all this is unreal, how can he accept it? So such a wicked solution also is not the one which is proposed by religion. Just walk away from this world. That is not the position which the religion holds. So what is the position of Vedanta regarding this? What does the Vedanta say about the reality of this life and the reality of this world and the evils in this? What solution does it suggest? So we all know Vedanta means the essence of the Vedas. Vedas. The Vedas, the sacred books of the Hindus, there are two parts in it. The first is the work portion, the Karma Kanda. It is full of all rituals, rites and rituals. And the second part is the Jnana Kanda, the knowledge portion of the Vedas, which is the Upanishads. Upanishads are the essence of the Vedas, the Vedanta. So Upanishads are called as a Vedanta, is called as a Vedanta. Vedanta speaks about, what does it speak? When the Karma Kanda speaks about rites and rituals, the Vedanta speaks about the nature of the individual self, the jiva, nature of the individual self, the nature of this real nature of this universe which we see, and the nature of God. These are the subject matter. This is the subject matter of the Upanishad. These are the subjects which the Upanishads, the Vedanta speaks about. Now, what the Vedanta suggests about this life, the problem of evil. So Vedanta says that what all religions say about the impermanence of the world of senses and its evils, it's true. It's true. The world is impermanent. But the only thing is we have not understood the message of the religion, the message of the Vedanta. Often it is misunderstood because religions are not very clear in their meaning. They speak in parables, they speak in poetical ways, right? And with analogies. It's very, we cannot directly understand the scriptures. Only it should be understood in a proper perspective, applying appropriate reasoning. Most of us approach religion in a very emotional way with the help of feelings in the heart. We want to sing, we want to do worship, and we want to identify, associate with people, with the monks, with the God, some kind of an association we want. We want some emotional support. Most of us approach to the heart. Bhakti is very natural to us. Very few people have a rational way of approaching religion. Swami Vivekananda would say that though heart is a wonderful place, it's a great place, it's the source of all inspirations in life. Yet, what is needed is to understand the scriptures, one should take the help of both head and the heart. A combination of head and heart, a happy combination of head and heart. One should not give up the heart totally and become a dry. It's better to follow the heart if there is a conflict between the head and the heart. It is better to follow the heart. Swami Vivekananda would say. So, but here we need to, trying to understand the Upanishads, in trying to understand the scriptures, what the religions teach, what Vedanta teaches, in order to understand, we should make use of both head and heart, both reasoning and emotions should be employed in understanding the import of the scriptures. The scriptures are what? They are the testimony, the truths which are related to the transcendental realm, which are not seen, which are not perceived. We see this world around people, the things which are around us, we see them, we perceive it directly. But how many of us perceive God directly? When Swami Vivekananda first came to Sri Ramakrishna, so Vivekananda was Narendranath then. he went about asking. He was so much of yearning he had in his heart to know God, to see God. So whomever he met, any holy man he met, he would say, "Have you seen God?" So the same question he put to Sri Ramakrishna, "Have you seen God?" Then Sri Ramakrishna replies, "Yes, I see God more intensely than what I see you." How many of us see God? How many see God in that way? We see things of this world. So it speaks about, so when we want to know about God, whether God exists, something called Brahman, etc., we say whether it exists, we can come to know only from the scriptures. These are the scriptures are the only testimony for that. The sciences are not the testimony. Science will speak about only the things which are perceived through the senses. So reasoning and sciences, they apply only to the world which we perceive through the five senses. Whereas when it comes to the transcendental world, existence of God, etc., we can rely only on the teachings of the scriptures. So we have to, as long as we see this world as a reality, as long as we see ourselves as individuals, a personality, and the world as real, we cannot brush aside the reality of this world. We cannot brush aside the reality of the world, and we'll have to apply the reasons. We'll have to apply our reasoning capacity also in judging the reality. So only when if a person transcends this individuality, one sees the world as unreal, then he can say, right, when he transcends this individuality, then only he can say the world is unreal. Brahman alone is real. Like Sri Ramakrishna said, I can perceive God more intensely than I perceive you. For him, it's like a shadow. So the external world appears like a shadow for him. But the transcendental reality is more perceptible for him, more real for him. The transcendental reality is more real for him. So as long as we are in this world of duality, we cannot brush aside this reasoning faculty of ours. So we should apply both the mind and head and heart. Right? Therefore, we should apply both head and heart to understand what the religion teaches. If one tries to follow religious teachings blindly, one will tumble into pitfalls. A blind man, he wants to go to heaven. He approached a priest. Please tell me, how can I go to heaven? Please tell me the means to go to heaven. And then the priest, he said, see, this cow is there, you catch hold of its tail. It will take you to the heaven. Wherever it takes you, ultimately it will lead you to heaven. And this blind man, he catches hold of the cow and it drags him to all thorny and bushy paths. He's bruised badly, and sometimes the cow kicks him also. But still he is holding on to the tail of the cow, thinking that it will lead him to the heaven. Right? So such will be our efforts also if we simply blindly take the teachings of the religion without applying proper reasons. So what the first mantra in the Upanishad says, in the Isha Upanishad, the first mantra is Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaptena Bhunjita Magrada Tasya Svidhanam. So it says, do not give up this life. Like, do not commit suicide. Life is full of evil, so don't. In order to give up, in order to overcome this evil, don't give up this life, or abandon your family, friends, etc. You have everything you want, only try to divinize it, defy this word. Try to see God in everything. This is what the mantra says, Isha Vasyam, cover it up. Vasyam, cover it up. Cover it, Isha, with Lord, with God. Isha Vasyam, with the divine. Cover this up, the entire world, with God or divinity. Idam Sarvam, all this. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Whatever is moving in this world is itself is a continuously changing phenomenon. So whatever is all this changeful universe, you cover it up with the Lord. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Tena tyaktena. So give up this world which you are perceiving. It's not a right perception of the reality. Give up tena, by giving up this wrong perception about this world. Protect yourself. Gunjita means protect yourself. Makrita kasyas vidhanam. Do not have any desires. Don't hold on to, don't possess, don't hanker for wealth. And to whom? When everything is the Lord, when you have covered up everything with the Lord, His wealth is also the Lord. So cover up everything with the Lord. And whose wealth is it that you coveted? Don't covet anything. Give up all desires. Cover all this, whatsoever that moves in this universe, the God, the divine. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that it's not a false optimism that everything is good, whatever, even if we perceive the evil, everything is good. It's not like that. It does not say, it's not a blind optimism, saying that everything, all is good. But really seeing God in both good and evil. How is it possible then to see God in both good and evil? How to maintain such an equanimity, how to have such an equanimity in all circumstances. Vedanta says we should give up the world we conceptualize. Give up this world. The idea what we have about the world, this is a wrong idea, it says, because it is based on our own imaginations and false reasoning. We see this world as good or evil. How do we see this world as good or evil? Because that which we like, that which is to our liking, we say it is good. And that which is not to our liking, we call it as an evil. Even in the ordinary world, common dealings. Say somebody who speaks very harsh truths, even though it is good for us, we hate him. Right? We see him, we look at him at the first reaction is that we look at him as an enemy of ours. Whereas somebody who is trying to cheat us, trying to flatter us, in spite of, he's not doing good for us, we think that he's a good person. So we don't perceive as such the reality. We only, according to our likes and dislikes, we perceive this world. So Vedanta says that this universe we perceive through our senses, is not a real perception that we have. It is only an effect of certain things. There is something behind it which we perceive as this universe. It is only an effect. There is a cause behind it which appears as this universe. It does not, this world which we see, does not have an independent. We think that we are all independent beings. This world, all these things are independent of, they have their own independent existence. This table, chair, persons, they have independent existence. They are independent entities, we think. Vedanta says all these do not have independent existence of their own. There is something behind it. There is a cause behind this universe, and this world is only an effect. Just like a pot, Right? How do you see a pot? Well, what is a pot made of? Pot is made of clay. Pot is a product of clay. The cause is the clay and the effect is the pot. Right? You arrange the clay in a particular manner, and you give it a shape, and you call it a pot. Pot does not. There is nothing called pot as such. The thing that exists is only the clay. It is only given. You are given only a shape to it, and you could give it a name. You say it is a pot. You give it some other shape. So you give the shape of an elephant, and then you call it a pot elephant. It's a clay elephant. You call it an elephant. You give it a shape of a jar. You call it a jar. So this world does not have an existence of its own. The names and forms which we see, which we call as the world, names and forms are what is called as the world. He is so and so, and he is appearing in this manner. Just like a pot, it's a different manner which the person, it is a different arrangement of the clay. We are giving different names. Like that, each individual and then individuals having names, they do not have real existence. Just like the clay, the rishis have dwelled deep into their heart and then have come to and experienced a reality behind this universe, and this entity is what is appearing in this world. This they have realized in their diving deep into their hearts, and it's like it is this which is appearing as this universe, just like the clay appearing as the pots and the things made of clay. So he says, the Vedanta says, this world, like a pot, is unreal, does not have its own existence. Unreality does not mean that a thing does not exist at all. It's not like a Akasha Kusuma that we say, with a flower in the sky, or the horns of a hare, Vrishasringa. It's not like that. Vrishasringa. It's not like that. It does not exist at all. It's not. There is something existing, but it appears as this world. So, unreality does not mean it's absolute non-existence. It has only a conditional existence. Unreal has only a conditional existence and no independent existence. Just like a clay arranged in a particular shape appears as a pot, it is conditioned in such a manner, and give a name to it, and we call it the pot. Right? And if we take away the clay from that, what will be the name? A pot is there, made of clay, and you take away the pot. Is there anything? If you take away the clay, is there anything called pot remaining over there? So the same thing, the kind of consciousness which is pervading the entire universe. If you take away that, if you negate that, what will be there? Nothing will be there. They do not have independent existence. The consciousness, which is the absolute consciousness, which is Brahman, which is appearing as this universe, just like the clay appearing as this pot. The pot has only name and form as for its existence. There is no entity called pot. The same way, the world does not have an independent entity. It is only a name and form which we call this world. So it is only what we need is only to shift our perception. Just like seeing the pot only as clay. The clay, the pot is nicely colored, it's beautiful designs you put on this thing, and you are attracted to it and then think that the pot is a real thing. You forget it, that it is simply clay, which is painted and which is made to look beautiful. And there is nothing called pot. Such an idea doesn't come to us because we perceive the gross thing only. The same way we perceive the names and forms only and think that, oh, such a beautiful world to see. But the reality behind it is not perceived by, we have shifted our reality, our perception to the external appearances of names and forms, and what is behind it we have not seen. So to perceive the reality, we need not do anything. We just have to shift our perception towards the reality. So the first mantra says in this Upanishad, Isha Vasam, just cover it up. So try to perceive the entire universe as composed of God. God alone has become all this. Right? God is seen as this universe. Just like a prism you have, and the prism, if you pass a white light, the other side of the prism, the white light gets dispersed and appears as certain colors. Same way, the God, when it is seen through the prism of mind and the senses, it appears as this multiplicity in this universe is an appearance of this God seen through this prism of the mind and the senses. And as long as we perceive it, we call it real. So it is not absolutely unreal, it is not a non-existent thing. So this prism, which is the dispersing medium, is what is called as the Maya. When seen through Maya, this world appears as this universe. God appears as this universe. So try to see God in everything. God only is present. He is appearing as this universe, as men, women, friends, relatives, wives, son, brother, right? Mother, parents, all the entire universe is only God. He is appearing as this world. And you need not give up everything, right? You change your perception. This is what is the idea which is conveyed in the first mantra. Isha Vasam, just cover it up. Just try to see God. Change your perception. And give up. Tena Tyaktena. The second line says Tena Tyaktena. By giving up this wrong perception about the reality, right? This false perception, try to see God. By giving up this, Bhunjita, protect yourself. It's Stena Tyaktena, by giving the false identity, by giving up the false identity that you are individuals and so, these are all mine, right? Me and mine. Just give it up. And through such a detachment, try to protect your own self. Bhunjita means protect yourself. You protect your real self, that you are one with the Lord. Like that friend of Swamiji was thinking that I am so and so, I am suffering from illness. Immediately as Swamiji uttered this mantra, he gave up this wrong identity that he is such a small person, a puny individual. He is one with the universe. Right? And he got the strength to get up. Same way, protect yourself, protect your higher self with the help of this knowledge that God only is pervading everything, right? And giving up this wrong notion about which we have, thinking that this world is real and the evils in it are real. Right? So this constant awareness of our true nature is what is, as the divine, is what is called the protection of the self. Right? We should be constantly aware. The moment we forget that we are divine, right? We think that we are individuals. We will face the evils of this life, right? And as long as we are continuously aware of this divinity within us, we will be free from evil. So the only solution which the Upanishad suggests is that constantly be aware of your divine nature, that you are infinite, you are this Atman, you are one with the infinite, with the absolute, appearing as this little universe. What is appearing as this little universe is the absolute universe, absolute reality, this absolute consciousness. This is the only way that we can get over this evil. Jnani, with the power of reasoning, he will negate. Right from the beginning, he sees it is a consciousness only, which is the reality, and the world is unreal. He will say, not this neti. He will give up this unreal world as saying that it is unreal, right? This world is unreal, and try to identify himself with the supreme self, that is a Paramatman. Whereas a Bhakta, what he will see, he will associate himself with the God. God only has become all this. God is pervading the entire universe. Right? He will try to associate himself with the help of five bhavas, the five relations, Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhura bhavas. These are the five kinds of relationship a devotee tries to establish with God, and tries to transcend this universe. He tries to perceive God. He will try to associate with God, right, who is present in all beings. His own Ishta Devata. He has become this universe. He is pervading through the entire universe, and he'll try to associate all things of this world with that, with his own Ishta. He has become all this. That kind of relationship he develops, and then he transcends this universe. And this is how he gets over the problem of evil. So the Jnani, right from the beginning, he will give up this unreal world and identifies himself with the Brahman. As a Bhakta will see his own personal God is pervading through the universe and try to associate with Lord and try to relate everything of this world to that God, to his own Ishta Devata. So another beautiful verse of the Kathopanishad reminds us of this truth, that just like an individual self, right, it's like a droplet, right? If it's like a droplet, if it falls into the ocean, it becomes one with the ocean. It gives up its individuality as a droplet, right? The beautiful mantra in Kathopanishad says, Yatha Shuddhe Shuddham Asiktam Tadrikeva Bhavati Evam Mune Vijanata Atma Bhavati Gautama. Just like a droplet of water, when it falls into the ocean, its individuality as a small droplet is lost. It becomes one with the ocean. You cannot separate out this droplet and say, I am so, this droplet has come from this particular river, or this from another river it has come. We cannot identify the droplets of water in the ocean. So it loses its identification as an individual and becomes one with the infinite ocean. Like that, a Jnani, right, Vijanata, right, his Vijanata Muni, a Jnani, one who has known the reality of his reality of his self, right? He identifies, when he gives up this body, he becomes one with that supreme self. Right? So this the same idea is conveyed in that. And the last portion of this mantra is that Magrida Kasyasvid Dhanam Isha Avastam Itadgum Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat, that we have seen cover up everything in this world with the Lord. Tena Tyaktena, by giving this false notion about this universe. Pujita, protect yourself. And the last portion is Magrida Kasyasvid Dhanam. Do not covet, do not cherish any desire for wealth. For whose wealth is it? It all belongs to the Lord. You have already renounced everything. You have renounced everything, and then with the idea of Lord, he has become everything. So wealth also belongs to him only. It does not belong to you. So do not covet it. Do not have it. Give up all desires. Desires is the cause of all our misery. So one of the main causes of the evils which we experience in this world is the desires. Like in the case of if a person, right, goes to in a marketplace, goes to see the pictures which are displayed in a shop, right? Who enjoys the picture better? The person who has put up the picture for sale, or the person who has gone, who's an onlooker, who's gone just to see the pictures? Who will enjoy the picture better? The seller is always busy looking out for a person who would give him a better deal. He cannot enjoy the picture. Whereas the person who does not have any transaction, right, who does not want to buy or sell the picture. He enjoys the beauty of the picture better. The same way, the person who does not have any desires, who does not have any transaction of give and take in this world, he enjoys in this marketplace of this world. So give up all desires. This is what the first mantra says. And there's a famous, there's an interesting incident in the life of Swami Vivekananda. There's a famous incident. John D. Rockefeller, he was a very wealthy person. He was a multimillionaire, and he was the founder of a university, Chicago University, and he also started a huge foundation, right, for charity, for giving away money in charity. He once heard about Swamiji when he was in Chicago from his friends. So that a great yogi has come to Chicago, and they all wanted to meet him. They wanted to meet Swamiji, the great yogi. So they all told Rockefeller, "Come, let's go and meet him." But Rockefeller did not have any interest to meet him. Did not show any interest to meet him. But somehow, after a few days, he felt a deep urge to meet him. He was terribly frustrated in life. So let me go and meet this yogi, try to find solutions to my frustrations. So he simply barged into Swamiji's room. Swamiji was sitting in this room, and then he was studying. He simply barged into the room. And Swamiji did not even look at him. He started telling Rockefeller that about his past, and that was not known to anybody but only to Rockefeller. Whatever was known to Rockefeller only, and nobody else knew it. That Swamiji started telling to Rockefeller. This was the first time Rockefeller met Swamiji, but Swamiji started telling about all the incidents of his past, and made him understand that the money he had already accumulated was not his, that he was only a channel, and that his duty was to do good to the world. That God has given him all this wealth in order that he might have an opportunity to help, to do good to the people. This was not very pleasant for Rockefeller to hear. So he went away again angrily. After a week or so, he again came back with a check in his hand. And again, Swamiji was sitting, and he was in his study. And he even did not look up at Rockefeller. Rockefeller then threw this check on his table and then said, "See, I'm donating such a huge money on charity. So now you must be a satisfied man. You must be happy about it. You should thank me that I have donated such a huge amount on charity." Then Swamiji even did not even look at Rockefeller. He simply said, "You should thank me first to have given you this idea that all this belongs to the God, and only doing good to others that you will get over all this frustration, you will get happiness in your life." Okay? So this, to find out a means to get happiness in your life, I have told you this, I have given you this idea, so you should thank me. So this is what is an idea conveyed, that everything belongs to the Lord, and give up all desires and try to see God in everything. That is the idea conveyed in the first mantra. Now we'll take up the second mantra. Kurvan evahi karmani jijivishet shatagdas samaha evam tvayi nanyate athosti nagarmalipyate hare. So if a jnani will see God everywhere, so for him to give up desires and for him to associate with God is very easy. For him, giving up desires is very easy. But for an ordinary man, ignorant man who sees this world as a reality, how can he give up this world? So So, what is the solution for him? The Upanishad says, Kurvanye karmani. So, your way is only to perform actions incessantly. Karmani kurvan. By doing karma alone, you can wish, you can aspire to live for 100 years. Shatagdas samaha. Jiji Vishet, you can aspire to live. Shatagdas samaha. 100 years. One who aspires to live, one who thinks that he is an individual and who wants to retain his individuality and live for 100 years. So 100 years is the life of an ordinary man, a normal life of lifespan of a man, right? Lifespan of a normal man is 100 years. So one who lives these 100 years, he feels that I've lived my complete life. Right? So one who aspires to live for 100 years, retaining his individuality, an ignorant man who thinks that I am an individual, I should live long, happily, and the only way to do it is karma kurvan evahi. That is the only way, by performing actions incessantly. And these actions, also how he should perform, he should not, because actions by themselves will give results. Good action we do, right? Good, meritorious deed, punya karma, what you call. The meritorious deed, if we do, it also incurs results. For that sake, we'll have to be born in order to experience the results of the punya karma. We will go to heaven, we may have a happy life in the next birth. So birth is the result of the karmas which we have performed the previous. This birth which we have taken is the result of the previous karmas which we have done. Called as prarabdha karma. It has started in so many karmas which we have done. A small portion has started yielding results, and it has resulted in this body. So this body itself is a result of the past karmas. It's called as the prarabdha karma, which has started yielding results. So whatever karma we do, whether it is an evil karma or a good karma, it will give its results and it will result in a new birth. So it itself is a bondage. A person who is seeking liberation does not want to get bound by these karmas. So how he should do? A man who aspires to live for 100 years, he should perform actions, but at the same time, he wants to get liberated when he dies. Right? How can he do that? He can do it only by performing all these actions, which he has to do incessantly all through the life. He has to perform it in a desireless manner, in a detached manner. Nishkama karma is the only way. So karma here does not mean a simple karma, which we do always, because not even for a single nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarma. An individual cannot remain without doing karma even for a single moment. We naturally have to work. Then what is the great thing? The Upanishad says, Kurvan evahi karmani. You don't go. Upanishad doesn't have to tell the person to do karma. Karma is natural to us. We do it. Every moment we do something or other. But how this has to be done? It has to be done in a detached manner. All this belongs to God, right? And dedicating all actions, all the results of God, all the results of this karma to God, giving it up, giving the fruits of actions by performing actions in a detached manner, that one can become free from the bondage of the results of karma. That is what he says. Na karma lipyate nare. Evam tvai nanyate ataha asti. Na anya ataha asti. There is nothing other than this. There is no other way than this, than performing actions, right? And the actions have to be performed in a nishkama, in a detached manner. Only then can a person be free from the bondages of karma. That is, karma na lipyati. He does not get attached to the karma. So this is the message conveyed by this Upanishad. Once, when Swami Vivekananda was in America, he was talking to a group of people in America. He was talking about reincarnation and he was talking about liberation. And Madame Calvi, she was a very celebrated opera singer. She was amongst the group of people to whom Swami was speaking to. And she was there when Swamiji said one has to give up this individuality in order to become liberated. Right? When he was talking about liberationists, he said the individuality has to be given up. Then, like many people, like all of us, right? Madame Calvi also could not accept this Vedantic doctrine of the individual soul getting totally absorbed in the ultimate reality, the absolute, and in order to attain the final liberation. She says, I cannot bear this idea. So I cling to my individuality. I don't want to be absorbed into an eternal unity. To this, Swamiji says in a poetic way, one day a drop of water fell into the vast ocean. Finding itself there, it began to weep and complain. The ocean laughed at the drop of water. Why do you weep? It asked. I do not understand. When you join me, you join all your brothers and sisters, the other drops of water of which I am made. You become the ocean itself. You wish to leave me, you have only to rise up on a sunbeam to the clouds. From there, you can descend again, little drop of water, a blessing and a benediction to the thirsty earth. So try to identify yourself with the absolute. And if you want to still retain the individuality, you retain yourself as a part of the whole. It will be a blessing to this earth. This is what is the idea somebody conveyed to Madame Calvi. And another important, I think nearly 1 hour I've taken. I'm just coming to the close. The last part of it. Another important idea which the Upanishad conveys is the idea of oneness of life. Oneness. The sciences also speak of oneness, but in terms of matter. This you, I, sun, moon, and all things of this world, they are like small whirlpools. The sciences say they are all like small whirlpools in the ocean of matter. So what exists is only matter. The whole universe is only matter, and we are all small whirlpools in it. But the Vedanta speaks about oneness also, but it speaks in terms of consciousness. It is all one consciousness only exists. What we see as multiplicity is only consciousness appearing as the multiple. Like we saw as the example of a prism and the dispersion of light through the prism. All our miseries are due to seeing this multiplicity in this universe. Vidiyadvai bhayam bhavati. Chandogya Upanishad says. The moment we see a second entity, automatically the fear comes. I'm an individual, he's a separate individual. So all our miseries of our life is because of seeing the duality, second entity. The Upanishad says that whatever exists is one Atman only, and it is ignorance to see many. All differentiations, man, woman, rich, poor, young, old, animals, plants, etc., do not really exist. Oneness is the highest realization. oneness. How can we can? It's the highest generalization. Brahman is the highest generalization. Somebody says. See, men and women, they can be generalized as we all belong to one category: human beings. Then human beings, the animals, insects, plants, etc. They all can be put together as one classification called as sentient beings. And all the other material things which do not have sentience in them, they are all insentient beings. So the whole world is composed of sentient and insentient things. Sentient beings and the insentient beings, things. So what is common between the sentient and the insentient thing? It is existence. I exist, you exist as human beings, this plant exists as a plant, animal exists, the table exists, chair exists, phone exists, computer exists. Existence is common to all. So this is the highest generalization. If you negate all the differences, what remains is this one existence, eternal existence. And what is eternal existence is eternal knowledge. And what is eternal knowledge is eternal bliss. Satchit Ananda. This is the one existence, knowledge, bliss, which is called as a Brahman. This is the highest generalization. That only exists. So God, this one existence, knowledge, bliss, this Brahman has to be perceived, has to be thought of, pervading the entire universe. And our transaction with the universe should be as such. It is very easy to say, see God in everything. We have heard about it several times. God only is appearing as this universe, He is pervading this universe, etc. But when it comes to practice, as long as we hear it, it is very nice. But when it comes to practice, all the difficulties come. When we face troubles, somebody speaks ill of us, then immediately we react. How can you say that to me? How can such a thing happen to me? Then all this idea that God only is appearing as this person who is scolding me, or he is speaking ill of me, or such troubles such are coming to me, such and such a person is responsible for this person is responsible. We keep blaming at others. Just like in the Aesop tales, Aesop fables, there's a nice, wonderful story. A deer was standing with its little one near a lake, and it saw its own reflection in the lake. So how beautiful, it was admiring itself. How beautiful I look, how strong, well built. I can run fast. I don't have to fear for anybody now. It tells its young one, the little deer which is beside it. It was telling to its young one about his strength, boasting about itself about its strength. And suddenly it hears a dog barking at a distance. Then it's on the toes immediately, runs away. It goes and stops after a mile, traveling a mile, running to a distance of a mile. And then when it returns back, the child is asking, the little deer is asking its mother, how is that you just now said that you are so strong and I don't have to fear about anybody, and you ran away hearing this dog bark. Then the mother deer said, see, it's sure, it's true that I'm strong. I feel that I'm strong. But when the dog barks, I forget everything. I lose all my confidence. And that was the reason that I ran away. So we also hear about it, but when it comes to the practical applications, we forget. But there's no harm in it. At least that such truths have to be first heard about, and should be deeply thought about, and then meditated on. It should enter our hearts first. It should enter our heads, brain, right? And our veins, into every pores of our body. It should permeate, and then this knowledge becomes fruitful. then we will be able to see the whole world is pervaded by this one divinity. And only then we can get over this problem of evil. And the same thing which appears as evil right now will appear with a different perspective. Right? And then the world will be a place of mirth and joy. These few words, I'll just complete my thought and get back to you. Give back the mic to Dharanandaji.
Thank you very much, Maharajji, for your such a profound talk, and especially you explained the two mantras, and you highlighted that we should try to see God in everything. Entire universe is God, and we should change our perception and give up false perception, and we should try to protect our own self. We are all one with the God, and the constant awareness of our real nature is the main thing. Uh, one with We are one with infinite, and also you mentioned that desires are all cause of miseries. Here, we see some kind of convergence with what Buddha said. Uh, then on the second thing you mentioned about trying to identify with the absolute and identify with the part of the whole, and also you highlighted so profoundly oneness of life, one consciousness, and uh, all differences, differentiation in effect does not exist. So I think very important and profound takeaways from Isha Upanishad. We would have been poorer without it. So now I would invite some questions if you have, or some doubts or some clarification you want to seek from Maharajji one by one. Please unmute yourself and please be brief and introduce yourself, and when you end your question, please mute yourself. Thank you very much. So you can ask the first question.
Maharaj, uh, this is Dev Mukherjee here. Hello, can you hear Maharaj?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You see, that starting you said the meaning of Vedanta. No, in one, you were saying just in one sentence. I just missed that one part. You can explain one more bit.
Vedanta is the essence of the Vedas. Essence of the Vedas, the real import of the Vedas, right? The Karma Kanda and the Jnana Kanda I told. The Jnana Kanda is called as the Vedanta, the essence of the which tells about the nature of the knowledge of God, the true nature of this universe, the true nature of the creating the self. All this is what is called as the Upanishads, or the end of the Vedas, that is the knowledge portion of the Vedas. It's called as the Vedanta, Vedasya Anta, the end of the Vedas. That is the knowledge portion, the later part of the Vedas. One initially performs all the karmas for the sake of purification of the mind to become qualified enough to receive the teaching of the Upanishads. One has to perform the karma kanda first. When the mind becomes pure and capable of grasping the truth, which is grasping the truth of the Upanishad, then it pursues the later part, that is the knowledge portion of the Upanishads, knowledge portion of the Vedas or the Upanishads.
Okay, Pranam Maharaj.
Partha, do you have any question? Partha? Hiranye, do you have any question?
No, Nirmal bhai, thank you. Pranam Maharaj, thank you.
And Attorney Jana, do you have anything to ask?
Normal Babu, nothing for now.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, okay,
Brother
okay.
Maharaj.
Namaste. Namaste.
Aksh, Akshay Bhatia, do you have anything to ask?
No, thank you.
Okay, okay. Uh,
Pranam
so
Samit.
I,
Namaste. Namaste.
we are so lucky to have such profound kind of
So
messages.
there's no question. There's no question. There are two things.
No,
One is that
no.
it has gone over the head, or another thing is the explanation was so good that there's no
No,
question at all. There's
well,
no doubt at all.
latter part is more true. Latter part of the is more true. And if you have still any thoughts left over, you can always let us know. We can write to Maharajji, and sort of Maharajji can also explain through email or something. If you have, but I think we are definitely feeling richer by kind of, especially the second mantra where Maharaj talks about Nishkama Karma, uh, which is many of us belong to that kind of category in the sense.
Most of us. That is why Swamiji even suggested for the Ramakrishna Mission also. Right? We are engaged in so much of activities. Even we are also not qualified enough to negate this word as unreal. Absolutely unreal. We also do not negate it. So also we also perform this karma yoga only. Through the karma yoga only we try to realize.
And now before ending the formal part of the program, that is ending the recording, of course, before that, Hiranya Mukhopadhyay will thank Maharajji and all the participants. But before that, let me once again remind all of us that this Tuesday is the Tithi Puja birthday celebration of Swami Vivekananda, and Swami Karunakaranandaji will speak to us on that occasion, and the time is 6:00 p.m. Philippine, Hong Kong, and Singapore time, which is 3:30 p.m. India time. Another thing, so please try to join. We'll send you separate invitation. Another thing also we need to, I think we need to pay our homage to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, one of the greatest freedom fighters of India, and Swami Vivekananda was his guru, was his ideal, and it is very that both the birthdays are so near. According to a Bengali calendar, Swamiji's birthday is 25th of January. According to English calendar, it is 12th January. So today is 23rd January, birthday of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. We convey our greetings on this happy occasion to all our Indian friends. And with this, I would request Hiranya Mukhopadhyay to kindly give vote of thanks to the participants and Maharajji, who have been so kind enough to spend time with us. Hiranya has been associated with Ramakrishna Mission New Delhi also. He is very close to Santatmanandaji. Hiranya.
Maharaj, Pranam Maharaj, and our heartfelt thanks on behalf of all the disciples of devotees of the Philippines, Manila, and also the devotees from various parts of India, Hong Kong, I don't know. But again, Maharaj Pranam and our heartfelt thanks for this wonderful speech today.
Thank you. I'm also very much happy to meet the devotees of the Manila Ashrama. And I thank especially Udaranandaji for giving this opportunity. And I wish you a happy Swamiji's birthday. May you enjoy the Swamiji's birthday on the 25th. Thank you so much. Thank you, Udaranandaji.
Thank you very much.
Pranam Maharaj, Pranam.
And
Pranam Maharaj, it was a wonderful lecture. We really enjoyed.
And Maharajji, if you allow, we'll spend another 5 minutes time after I close the recording. if you have time, people may like to say pranam to you. So is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, okay. I'll now give me 30 seconds. I end the recording, and I once again request you to join Tuesday. We will individually inform you also, and I've already indicated you the time. Now I end the recording to come back to you for 5 minutes of informal chat.